YouTube with it. You guys, I just prolong, get it started for y'all, and y'all can do what y'all gotta do from there.
Oh, so you Jenny Taft right now, huh?
That's how I feel. I ain't got nothing to say. I already know. I already said my piece. I already said my piece. I already said my part. What's up? Is your boy GD Fitz. I'm here. BSN Presents Tell the Truth, and we got two people that want to tell the truth about Russell Westbrook, why he's not on the All-NBA team and why he should be on the All-NBA team. So I got to give it to my man, Daryl. What's going on, Scooby? How you doing today, bro?
Great, brother.
Yeah. And then I got to go over to my man, the most controversial dude in BSN. My guy, Caleb. What's going on, shorty?
What up, man?
And I'm willing to bet he a Brown fan, too.
Oh yeah, you already know.
You just figured it out.
You already know. You already know, man. Goat James, man.
Brown.
That's incredible right there. He started all his mess because of that.
He part of the Brownites.
Hey,
man, y'all Jordan Nets crazy.
Oh no, that's the thing. I was never a big Mike guy. I respect and appreciate the greatness, but I've always been Kobe. When I was able to actually understand basketball, it's always been Kobe.
Right. No,
when I knew what I was watching.
That's how I had to do it too. I looked at it the same way. But now that we are live and the topic is put out there, RUSS Not All NBA. So my last video that I did when I was on the ISO just before you guys joined in, I had to put up the post. And if you see my background, that's one of the teams right there on the All NBA. That's the All NBA first team right there. And we remember we're only looking at the guard position. We got Steph Curry and Luka Doncic. Two dudes that I say deserve to be on All NBA first team without question, right? Did we go second?
I even had an issue with Steph, but that's a whole nother argument.
Yeah, and we can come all around with that too. But I'm gonna just read down who they put in their spots. Then on the second team, we got Dame Lillard and we got Chris Paul. Right? Chris Paul had a great year, led his team from no playoffs to the second best record overall in the league. Dame Lillard did what Dame Lillard does. He's in Portland. It ain't really no help up there. And even better this year for him, in his case, CJ McCollum was hurt for half of the year this year. So it gave him a little bit more credibility on why he made All NBA this year. And then I'm going to go ahead to the third team. And on that third team, boom, we go here, third team. Now, this one right here, a lot of people got question marks. But I don't, because I'm looking at Kyrie Irving.
I didn't either. He deserved it.
He deserved it. He did some historical work this year himself, going with his 50, 40, 90 year. And then Bradley Beal, second in the league in scoring, arguably the best shooting guard in the league. And he actually was carrying the Washington Wizards with Russell Westbrook struggling the first half of the season. So the person I'm going to get this started with, because I'm about to be real mute quiet, I'm going to go ahead and let Skip Caleb do his thing. While Shannon Walker rebuttals. You know what I'm saying? Y'all go ahead and do your thing, man.
Yo, well, when it comes to the All NBA teams or whatever, right? I feel as though Steph got a lot of clout for the way he finished the season and not how the whole season went.
I think that's probably going to be the only thing that we're going to agree on with that one.
You feel me? Like he finished strong as hell, and I'm not taking nothing away from him, but no playoffs. Like they was in a play-in, but no playoffs. Like his name got him in the All NBA for me.
I don't see how he was even voted for MVP.
His name, bro. His name and his brand got him there. You know, he's been the face of the league for a couple years, changing the way the game been played. So, boom, that got him there. Guard-wise, you can shuffle them around for real as far as Kyrie, Bradley, Luka, Steph, Dame, and who else was it? Chris Paul. You can shuffle them around for real. But I don't think Steph really should have been first team, if anything, third team. Westbrook took the Wizards to the playoffs. I think they only won 25 games last year. Came there, him and Bradley Beal worked together. Both of them sustained minor injuries, missed a little bit of time each. But they helped each other get to the playoffs. If you look at anybody else in that roster, It looked like the Oklahoma City Thunder when when Durant left. Is nobody really strong on that team. Roy, from Japan or whatever, he's still developing as a player. I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's still developing. But you're not going to put your money on him. You only got 2 players on that team. Westbrook averaging a triple-double speaks volumes to what he brings to a team. You feel me? And all NBA, that's a player accomplishment. That's not a team accomplishment. You shouldn't be penalizing all NBA of how the whole team produces. Team accomplishments are playoffs and championships. MVP, all NBA, no accolades like that. That's player, like solely what you're doing. Are you a top guard in the league? And I feel like it's not a lot of guards better than Westbrook, but he gets slack for whatever reason. He take every team to the playoffs.
No, I don't think he's slack. I think he rated fairly because he, just as great as he is, he's the opposite end of the spectrum. Like, there's no in between in his game. Like, his game, it's a lot left to be desired, especially down the stretch. You watch it in the playoffs against Philly, even going all the way down into the play-in game. And then, like, when you say, like, with the assist, triple-double and all of that, that's the catch to that. Who's he passing the ball to? Like, if his teammates ain't that good.
Layup.
Like, but that's what I'm saying,
you put
though.
your
Like,
team in positions to score. If it was easier to get 10 assists, everybody would get 10 assists.
But then see, all right, so then you compare him to, I think the biggest downfall to him is them trying to make him be something that he's not. Like, and them trying to make him a point guard. There's no fault of his own. Like, he tried, but he's not. His basketball IQ stinks. And that's he's hell-bent on proving people wrong, and he's sometimes getting his own way. Like, he's the king of missed layups. He's the king of costly turnovers down the stretch. His shot selection leaves a lot to be desired. So then, like, you go back to the triple-double, like, and all of that. I always say context matters because then when you watch him play, you can see why his game is nitpicked and picked apart so much.
Right.
Because then it's like he could have that 16 in the first quarter alone because he's just coming out with an amazing start. He done got 7-8 rebounds by the second quarter. He got 7-8 assists. But then when you watch
triple-double by halftime.
Exactly. And this is almost every night. But then when you watch that, when you watch the crunch time minutes of basketball, when you watch down the stretch, it's a night and day difference because now you forcing him to think. Now you forcing him into the half court, and then that's when his decision making comes into question. Where he's taking the long threes, or that mid range ain't been going, or when he attacking the rim and he over attacks, and then it's a missed layup. And then, like, that's when it turns into that. And we watched the season damn near full of that until that last quarter of the season when he got red hot and he flipped that switch. He was amazing.
I was about to say, it's like he's damned if you do, he's damned if you don't.
And that's why I say he's fairly rated. Like, he don't him not being all NBA, I don't think is a knock. Because at the same time, Devin Booker and Donovan Mitchell was left off, and they had amazing seasons. But all of that credit went to Chris Paul for Devin Booker. So he was knocked off of that. And then Utah, for whatever reason, they just universally not respecting the basketball. Because that was just criminal to leave Devin Booker off of there. But then it's like, I'm sorry, Donovan Mitchell. But then it's like, all right, Westbrook, who would you take off? And then it's like, okay, I can see somebody's argument with Steph. But Steph's name does carry that much weight where you ain't take, even though Steph and them may make the playoffs, you'll be hard pressed to find any list, any argument, anybody where they ever take Westbrook over Steph.
Point guard or
maybe back in 2014, just all around, like just when it comes to all NBA. Because like the man didn't even make the playoffs, and he was still rated. He was still finished as the finals for MVP, and that was crazy. Because like Giannis actually finished top 3, but then they voted in Steph.
I'm not a Giannis. Here's the thing with Steph, bro. He's a great player. He changed the way the game was played. But if you take his 3-point shot away, who is Steph Curry?
But that's the same thing that you can say if you give Russell Westbrook a 3-point shot, then who would?
But that's the thing.
We're gonna use that argument.
If you can't. Russell Westbrook is more of an all-around point guard than Steph.
That's the thing. He's not a point guard.
He's a one.
And once he shakes that, he's a one by default because of his height. His true position is a scoring guard, but he doesn't have a skill set of allowing.
before we go too deep, let's not forget, all NBA is not saying you have to be a point guard or
Yeah, you
shooting.
don't. Yeah, it's a
It's
guard
just
position.
saying guard.
Yeah,
So at the
and it was
guard
6
position,
spots. It was 6 spots.
and
I'm not
who
removing
was he
none of them
over?
6. Yeah, I'm not removing none of them 6 to put Westbrook on there.
I take
And
Westbrook,
I'm
bro.
gonna be a whole 100 with you. We forgetting about Booker. We forgetting about Spider.
And I brought them up.
Yeah, he mentioned
You know,
them. He mentioned them.
Yeah.
Those dudes
Jason
should,
Tatum,
in my
Jason
opinion,
Tatum, who was slotted as a guard and a forward, because some
and
of
a
them you
forward.
can interchange because you can
Tatum
even
should have
rep
been in the forward. I would have picked Tatum over Jimmy Butler.
over Jimmy Butler.
I
Yes.
would have.
Facts.
I would have too. But I would
Jimmy
also
is
would
one
have.
of the
I
most
also would have
overrated.
kept Grant over Jimmy Butler
Who
because
that?
KD had a solid year too. And if we not really, obviously, we weren't worrying about games because Kyrie didn't play a lot of games.
That's
But
a fact.
that argument is flawed too, because that's quite a few. It's quite a few people on that list, LeBron James included. Like it's at least 4 people on that list that played maybe 70% of the season. Like a lot of people, like they clown and they joke Kyrie. Everybody know in the group, I'm a big Kyrie advocate, but he legit played it was a 72 game season. He played with 55 games. Or 50 games or something like that. Like,
right.
So he didn't miss as much time as people thought. It was just that one little stretch where he was wilding and he was just coming and going. Yeah, like
that made that shit
he was
worse.
just coming and going as he pleased.
Like,
Right.
I'm not playing tonight. It is what it is.
And it was a game or two. My man had, call out. The weather was nice outside. He called
no
out
call, no shows and shit. It's like, yo.
Yeah. But he was wilding for that stretch, but he played 70 to 80% of that season.
Yeah. And he showed up when he played. He showed up.
That's the
every
biggest
game
thing.
He played.
50, 40, 90.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what made me an advocate. Like if he would have played and he played like shit, I couldn't be an advocate for it. But then it's like, if this man, for whatever reason, mentally ain't right, but he's still coming on the court and he's still getting to it, that has to be applauded and respected. Because you don't, I'm one of them people, you don't know what somebody's going through. That's why I'm not the biggest LeBron fan, but like I applaud him. Under the scrutiny that he's under, being nitpicked and under the microscope to the length that he is to have to perform at that level, you have to respect it. I can sit and
that's my argument.
I can pick at whatever about
West.
His game, but then at the end of the day, like, but see, Russell Westbrook doesn't give you nothing to hang his hat on. LeBron does. That's the difference between the two.
Westbrook carries teams, bro. When KD left, think about who was on the roster. Just really think about who was on the roster. Bro.
I remember who was on the roster, but then again, I asked with the triple double, who was he passing the ball to?
But that's what makes him great.
It's the opposite argument. It's the opposite argument.
He's putting people in positions to score. You feel me? You know, as a basketball player, you catch the ball in the right spot, you're gonna hit rather than if you pass it to you. If you cut at the right time. And bro, who did he have? Who did he have in OKC?
He had Victor Oladipo. He had
to get Oladipo in the shape because Oladipo came there out of shape. So he had to whip Oladipo. Oladipo even said it out his mouth.
He was hurt.
He said it out of shape. No. You feel me? He said Russell Westbrook got him right.
And then he turned around. He turned around and he had Paul George after that. Just some players just can't coexist with others.
P.
He's a lot better than what he gets. He's a lot better than what he gets credit for.
Who, Paul George?
He's a lot better than what he gets credit for.
I think Paul George will never be that number 24 in Indiana again. I don't think we're ever going to see that Paul George again, bro.
He's that with the Clippers now. It's no different. It's the ceiling. The ceiling was LeBron James. The ceiling was LeBron James.
24 in Indiana was a savage.
What he had last night?
He was he had 41, but what was he doing the game before that?
An elimination game. I know he shot like shit.
What was he doing the game before that?
I can't defend that. He shot like shit the game before that. But then in every game that mattered in every round, like when Dallas pushed him, he came up clutch. When the round before this,
he had Kawhi with him in Dallas. He had Kawhi with him in Utah.
No, he finished Utah without Kawhi.
He didn't have Kawhi in game 6. He did not have Kawhi in game 6.
One game.
Now, because it looked like we done flipped gears and went over to the Paul George narrative. I know we're going to get back to Russ because that's what it was pinged off of.
Yeah.
But Paul George, I say this. He has shown that he can play his game well in these playoffs ever since the injury. The problem is The problem is that certain moments of games. Game 2, you up 1. There's no way in the world you miss both free throws in that situation. That's when we can start.
But it happens though.
And it happens. I agree.
It's an indictment on him, but then the same way that he shot 20% that last game and it bounced back with 41. That's what great players
shot
do.
75%.
Exactly. That's why
he missed 6 shots, 5 or 6 shots yesterday. So I look more so towards that. Like you're going to shoot and instead of somebody like that who slid under the radar, Devin Booker. Ever since they called him the next Kobe, he shot like shit.
Yeah.
But he don't get nowhere near as much slander, but he's crowned the next one. And then good or bad, Paul George is going to be picked apart. I guess I got an affinity
but you know what's funny,
lashing on the guys that's like that.
You know what's funny? Ain't that the same thing? This is going to help you out, Caleb, with your narrative. Ain't that the same thing they do to LeBron? When LeBron go up.
I made that point,
free throw clutch, and they're like, yo, he's soft. He's fucked up. And then LeBron dropped a 40-point triple-double the next night, and everybody fight.
That's greatness.
That's even with Westbrook. Yo, he shouldn't have took that shot. The next game, he take a shot, clutch buck, get the game out of there, bro.
But Westbrook is
he don't have enough moments like that.
Exactly. He'll have a bad game, and then he'll come back and have a great stat game, but they'll still lose because he did have 8 turnovers in said great game. See, that's
that first half of the season can't be ignored. Like he was some shit that first half of the season. It was to the point where they was questioning if he was washed up.
Bro, they quick to call somebody washed up. You feel me? The washed up thing is running around saying you play a couple bad games and think you washed up. What I'm saying is this, bro. Russell Westbrook, he might be high turnover, you feel me? Because he has a high motor. He's not the smartest point guard. You feel what I'm saying? And that's where a lot of his turnovers come from. But when it comes to
really a shooting guard,
bro, they put Iverson that. Yo, he's a 1, bro. He's a 1, bro. Because they don't. When you got Westbrook on the team, you're not shopping around for ones. You're shopping around for.
You should. Having a pure point guard next to him would have done wonders for his career. Donovan Mitchell, that's a perfect example. Having Mike Conley made Donovan Mitchell a better player. Donovan Mitchell is what? He's listed as 6'3". He might be 6'1". But he's not a point guard, though. He's not a pure point guard. He has decent decision-making, but he's a scoring/slashing guard. Now, putting him, because he's a point guard by default because he's 6'1", but then he's attacking and his usage rate is high. Like, I can go down the list of a shit ton of guards like in the league. Same thing with the Lakers and LeBron, our favorite team.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron is the Lakers point guard, but then Dennis Schroeder is slotted in as the point guard. But we all know who the Lakers point guard is. It's LeBron. Denver, Jamal Murray is slotted as a point guard, but that point guard is Jokic. Golden State, Steph is slotted as the point guard. That point guard is Draymond. So a lot of times the height dictates what position that they play, but ultimately, like a lot of these guys aren't point guards. And that's why we see a lot of bad basketball too. That's the coach in me. That's why we see such shitty basketball.
Yo, Westbrook is only what? 6'3"?
He would have benefited greatly from Chris Paul. He just a point guard. And them years in OKC, they spent what we see now, Cameron Payne. They tried to get Eric Mena. He had Derek Fisher. He's had a shit ton of point guards that they tried to put next to him, but it never panned out.
Cameron Payne wasn't Cameron Payne who he is
now.
No,
he wasn't.
Yeah,
that was a bad. Yeah,
Derek Fisher wasn't Derek Fisher with OKC. His best point guard behind him. What he had? Reggie Jackson 1 year.
He had Earl Watson, and Reggie Jackson couldn't coexist because they were the same guard. Two scoring guards that were struggling to play point guard. Because look at Reggie now.
He had whatchamacallit, Raymond Felton, right?
He had Raymond Felton. He even had Earl Watson at one point, I want to say.
Yeah. But
that's what I'm saying. Like they've tried, but that's the gift and the curse of Russ game.
Yo, Russ gonna get it done, bro. It's one of them things like we'll take the 8 turnovers, depending on the game, depending on the situation, of course, because what the other shit he brings to that team, you feel me? Like he said earlier this year in the when they asked what's the hardest part about getting a triple-double, and he said assists. I can't control if somebody miss or make the shit. And also a turnover is if I pass you the ball and you drop the pass or you're not ready for a pass, that's a turnover on me. That's not a turnover on you. So I can dime you and you fuck up. So that's now my turnover. So at the end of the stat line, Westbrook got 8 turnovers, but really 4 niggas dropped the pass. You feel me? They wasn't looking for the pass for real. You feel me? And I really think him and Bill, bro, they probably one piece from being top 5 in the East.
I think if you put a real point guard next to them, like look how much better they got when Scott Brooks gave Ish Smith some of the minutes that they was giving a foreign guy.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I know Neto.
I can't.
Neto.
Yeah, Neto. Yeah. Look how much better that team flowed when you had somebody that could push the pace that wasn't necessarily looking to score, that pushed the pace to look to set others up.
Right.
And you see, like the difference is like when they do it like that, as opposed to you just got everybody fighting to get shots up. So a lot of times watching the Wizards play, a lot of times you watch the Wizards play, it's just up and down, up and down, up and down. Yeah. It's either Bill or Westbrook. Either Bill or Westbrook gotta get a super tough bucket, or it's a shit ton of threes.
But all right, so we can go with the point guard theory. You get them a point guard, you can't have Bill, Westbrook, and a point guard that's your top 3.
I think you can. I think you can, but that's the thing. It doesn't have to be the top 3. Like that point guard doesn't have to be. That point guard could be. And so that's the thing, like with basketball, it don't even have to come out the bench. Like that point guard is just sometimes you just need traffic control out there.
All right, so
that's you hooping. Like sometimes that's like you don't necessarily need. You just need a steady hand, and I call this the LeBron James effect. Like to his credit, to making people better, we've seen so many erratic players. Once they get next to Bron, it's that steady hand. Instead of setting up shop right here. You need that guy sometimes to let you know, no, don't bury yourself there. Come a little bit closer. I can get it to you closer, and in that way we can do more damage that way. Drew Holiday worked wonders for the Bucks with that this year.
Yeah,
that offense with all 5 of them standing on that perimeter. Now you got traffic control, where it's a plus that Drew can go out there, he can get that bucket. But if Drew's having an off night, you can withstand that because Drew's still bringing other things to the table. Like that's like the little things that a lot of times these teams overload with talent, but they need little shit like that to put you sometimes in better position to win. Like that's what Brooklyn was missing. Loaded with talent, but who the hell was going to put any of them in place?
No, I feel you. But I'm taking Steph Curry out for Westbrook. Now you can put
you're being biased for that.
Listen,
because
you can put hold on. You can put somebody from 3rd or 2nd team and Steph Curry plays. You feel what I'm saying? To put in that first team or whatever. Westbrook can be 2nd or 3rd team. He don't have to be 1st team. But out of that list of guards, he deserves a spot, bro. And we're not saying Booker don't deserve a spot. We're not saying Donnie Bravo don't deserve a spot.
Playing devil's advocate right here, because forget Russ. Watch this. Who had a better overall season this year? Curry or Dame Lillard?
Dame.
With the pieces that were around their teams, who had a better season this year?
The pieces that was around their teams, well, you would say Steph because you ain't have anybody.
Okay,
but
stop. Okay, stop. That's one, right? So now,
when you just shifted that question to get that answer.
I see where he's going with it. Yeah. It's a method to his madness. I see where he's going with it.
So we got that right.
I see where.
Then we go to the next person that was on 2nd team, Chris Paul. Who had a better season, Chef or Chris Paul with the pieces that were around him?
You keep talking about the pieces that's around him, bro.
The only reason really why I'm saying it, and this is the real reason why I'm saying it. I watched Devin Booker not get put on this team, but yet his team is on the team. Right?
He deserved it. Right.
He deserved it. But then I'm looking at Bradley Beal, who made the team. But Russ isn't on the team, but we just said Beal was consistent the whole year. I'm looking at all these guys that made the team. Consistency matters. And Chef, out of all 6 of the guards that made it, probably had the weakest team on around him because all the pieces that were with his team were either hurt.
That lineup, yeah.
Chef wasn't consistent the whole year, though, bro.
Say it again?
He wasn't consistent the whole year though, bro.
For the most part, he was.
That man
Like,
For the
was
most part, he
the
was.
main focal point every single night for that team.
I'm just not a fan of. I'm
inexperienced
not
guy.
a fan of rewarding like teams that don't make the playoffs for awards. That's my only thing. Like outside of most improved player, I'm not a fan of rewarding losing. That's why I don't get high. That's why I don't get high.
And once again,
MVP
Chef,
voting and first team All NBA. I can get him being second or third team, but first team, like to have a team that didn't make the playoffs, and then you got two guys that had the top two best records in the whole NBA that don't make it. Like that don't.
They deserve
to
be in there.
Yeah, like that's kind of backwards. And it's like I'm not mad at him making All NBA, but not first team. In my personal opinion, and I damn sure don't think that he should have been in the MVP voting. Because then again, that's a slap in the face of the other guys who had phenomenal numbers. And again, like at some point, them numbers have to contribute to team winning and team success. Because it's easy to say. Because they even if we play in the BSN league, the MVP is going to the best player on the best team. It's not going to go to a team that was on 16, but they had a nigga that was just on there that was cooking everybody. That's on any level. That's on any level. The MVP goes to the best player on the best team. That's just what it is.
People were saying that BJ should have been the MVP of the BSN because he was scoring 35, 40 points. I'm like, no way. That team was
it's a goalpost argument. Yeah, like that's a goalpost argument because that 35 could be coming from you down 20.
When you talk about most valuable player, here's how I look at most valuable player. If I take this player away from this team, what is this team gonna do?
You're gonna be even worse.
You feel what I'm saying?
Name a sport that does that.
Huh?
Name a sport that does that though.
Bro,
it's always the best player.
It used to be like that in the NBA.
Name an MVP.
It really used to be like
name an MVP.
Iverson got an MVP.
They were the number one team. They were the number one team in the NBA. They had the number one defense. They had a coach of the year.
They was the number one team that
year.
They
had the six. They had yes. They went to the NBA Finals. They were number one in the East.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, because I was gonna make that point, and with the Iverson argument, people will say, "Well, Iverson dragged his team to the finals," and I hated that. That was my gripe against Bron, because it would be like, "Oh, he took a bunch of nobody to the finals," but then it's like y'all won 60 games, y'all dancing and y'all doing all of that. It's just that, all right, cool. They might not have been good enough for that moment, but they were good enough to get you there. That used to be my beef in that argument. Not to say that they world beaters, but then at the same time, they were good enough to where it's like, all right, I'm gonna do the heavy lifting. I just need you to chip in here and there.
Though, bro. He dragged.
I can't see. That's where my divide comes in at. That's where my divide comes in at. Like LeBron did the heavy lifting. That's without a doubt. He needed to do what needed to be done.
What he did in Detroit and all that stuff, like that's
amazing.
Dragging your team with you.
And I can't necessarily call that dragging because like Detroit, because then you'd be short selling how amazing Detroit was defensively, and that's how I look at it. I wouldn't necessarily.
No. Detroit was great defensively, right?
Mm-hmm.
So LeBron had to drag the Cavaliers past Detroit because if he didn't get them 17 straight,
because Big Z was an all-star. Big Z was an all-star.
Because of LeBron.
He had a basketball pedigree. Sometimes, I'm a basketball guy. Like Greg would tell you, I'm a basketball dork. Like a lot of them niggas that he had on that roster was a lot better than what they got credit for. But the LeBron effect.
We talking about the 05 year? I mean, 07 year?
Damn,
they got swept by the Spurs.
And that's the 07
now,
year. Like that was a quality roster. That was a quality roster.
That roster, in my opinion, even though I do think it was the worst roster to ever make the finals,
Pop just ran circles around them.
Yeah, they had talent. You had Zeke. Now it's funny because I always joke about the lineup, but I'm like, yo, Big Z was a problem. He was an all-star before LeBron, by the way. Don't get that twisted. He was an all-star before LeBron. So
was he ever go ahead?
He was an all-star. You can't discredit somebody that was an all-star.
Okay.
All-star. You had him. You had Larry Hughes, who was also an all-star before LeBron. He knew how to play basketball. Eric Snow was a guy that just went with Allen Iverson to the NBA finals. That's somebody that knows how to win.
A veteran point guard.
You a vet.
It's quality talent. It's not elite level talent.
Guy. It's just that they were not better talent than what the San Antonio Spurs and coaching. Coaching matters.
So
Coach
let me ask you this.
Tremendous.
You take LeBron off that roster.
They don't make the
Larry Hughes, Eric Snow, Ilgauskas, who else they had? I think they had Wally Zerbiak at the point in time.
But that's a flawed argument though, because you can say the same thing about Kobe Bryant. And Kobe Bryant has had arguably worse rosters than what LeBron had.
Not that he won with.
He
Lamar
dragged
Odom.
now you talk about like dragging
In
him like Lamar.
2008,
Like now,
2008, Kobe
if you're going to use that same argument, Lamar Odom only had winning years in LA. Every other team that Lamar Odom went to, his numbers took a dip. It was that one year that he had in Miami.
Are you taking Paul Gasol over Big Z?
Yes.
Andrew Bynum over Big Z?
Remember, watch this. This how
that's debatable.
Bynum did not play for real for the second half of 2008 when he went to the finals. Let's keep going.
Lamar Odom over Larry Hughes.
You say who over?
That's two.
Lamar Odom
was a 6'9".
Lamar Odom
was also.
And that's fine.
So that's a better player. Then he had Derek Fisher with him
and Devin George.
Okay. Again,
those were the guards.
Point guard, Derek Fisher.
You had a young Trevor Ariza with you,
who did not play a lot in 08. Remember that he got hurt.
Yeah, he came out the bench.
You had a retarded athletic a hustle man in Shannon Brown.
He also played with LeBron too. He played with LeBron too.
But his best years was with the Lakers. And we know that.
Again, so if you're going to give him that same credit, the same thing that Kobe got knocked for, LeBron gets the credit for.
For what?
For making guys better, like, and all of that. But like for some of that best years was when they played with Kobe. Once they left him, it was trash. So to the argument of removing a player, you can make that argument by a lot of people, but that's just a testament to them elevating
just like
them.
my man Greg said. Coaching, bro.
Oh, he ran ran circles. Pop ran circles around him. Kobe had Phil. You had Mo Williams also too with LeBron. Like quality, you had quality, you had quality guys. And I'm in no way saying that David it's elite Black, talent.
Goddamn Mike Brown.
David Blatt wasn't a bad coach. Neither was Mike Brown. David Blatt, I think, suited best to LeBron's strengths to bring his offensive side out of him. LeBron just didn't respect him. I think that's all that was. I think that's what that came down to.
Was he out coaching any of them coaches? Was he able to out coach any of them coaches?
The year they went to the finals, that was Mike Brown, I thought.
Mike Brown was
took both of them. He took both of them to the finals.
He took them in 2015.
Yeah. David Blatt was outgunned though. Like you can't really say what the teammates did, all this, that, and the third. Like and sometimes the better team do win. And sometimes that's just what it is.
Not even just that though. Let's not forget that 2015 team. Kevin Love gets hurt in the first round against Boston.
If neither one of them happened,
right,
Bron win that easy.
And they win it.
Kyrie smoked stuff in game one. Kyrie smoked stuff in game one.
Yeah, and they came back the next year. They came back the next year, beat that little 73-9.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like with that one, they were just outgunned. LeBron did all that he could. Like, but they were just outgunned.
About making other guys better, and it's like, oh, you playing with that guy and you made him look good. Timothy Mozgov got a 4-year deal from the Lakers because of the 2015 finals, playing 5 games where he was averaging 20 and 10.
JaVale McGee is still getting paid off for the same reasons.
Exactly. So that's when you can say talent can help other guys get better. But let's not flip it and let's not lead the topic because we going all off on LeBron and Kobe. We talk about the guy behind me right now, Russell.
Right.
I'm
second, or third all team.
I'm saying this right here. I think Russ had a very solid season. It was basically Dr. Jekyll, Mrs. Hyde, because I watched him have a bad start and then turned it up like he normally does. He does turn it up. And numbers, when they say numbers don't lie, sometimes numbers can make you real flawed. And the reason why, I watched him get his 2013 and 15 through a stretch when they needed to win games, and he's awesome at doing that, right? But I also know that he does commit a lot of turnovers at critical moments against the upper echelon teams, and that kills him. And I think that kind of hurt him with his All-NBA stats because he does turn the ball over a lot. He's not efficient. He's not efficient.
You're gonna turn the ball over more when you dominate the ball more.
And I agree with that.
Chris Paul. No, you're not. Because Chris Paul.
I said before, Chris Paul's a smarter point guard. I never said Russell Westbrook was the smartest point guard out there. But the smartest player don't mean you're the better player all the time. Because Rondo is smarter than half the point guards in the league. if not
Bro.
more than half of the point
But I'm
guards in
also
the league.
trusting. I'm also trusting the ball in Ronald hands before I am Russell Westbrook.
I am too. I'm
So
not
off
even
the
gonna
6
knock you.
guys,
I
though,
am
this
too.
my thing.
Like,
Off the 6 guys on this list, Chef,
I can't
Luke,
Dame, move none
Bill,
of them off of Russ.
Kyrie, and my last one is Chris Paul. Those were
I just don't
6.
think he was one of the 6. And I'll say this, like, because like a lot of times, especially when we get to debating back and forth in the group, like when you say something it's without context and you don't know if I'm joking, if I'm serious, or none of that.
Right.
So I take everything with a grain of salt. I'm open-minded. When I say that he's not one of the 6 best that made All NBA, that's in no way of me saying that he's trash either.
Right.
I think Russ is phenomenal, but like his flaws keeps him from reaching that certain level where people keep trying to thrust him up to. Like that's just where I'm at with it. Like I get why Chris Paul gets the love that he gets because everybody wins with him. I hate to keep harping on it, but it's a LeBron
everybody
effect.
wins with Russ.
He hasn't, but that's the thing though. Like at the same time,
like think about what you just
the only
said.
thing
Who
that has
didn't
stopped,
win with Russ?
All right, so then the only thing that has stopped Chris Paul was Chris Paul.
And the only thing that stopped Russ was LeBron and the Heat.
That was the 1 year though, bro.
And how many times Paul been to the finals?
Paul,
potentially now.
But watch this though.
That goes to my point. Like that's saying the only thing that stopped him is because of injuries. Like it wasn't because of his play. Like that's the difference between the two. Like his play,
his ACL, or some shit. Then he fuck his ACL, MCL up. In
2014. That's
the same thing we get Chris Paul with injuries at bad moments. Because if he hurts his knee in 2014 and they were the best team in the league, KD won the MVP. They the best team in the league. They're rolling. He gets hurt. Now everything falls apart. I also look at the same thing about Chris Paul in Houston. He pulls his hamstring in games. If he doesn't get hurt, they win the championship because I don't care what goes on. They win the championship that year with Chris Paul.
Now, with those two injuries.
And I honestly think he's playing. I think he's playing hurt now.
Right, I do too. But I
with
say
those two injuries you just spoke of, though,
we can't play what is. We got to go off of what happens.
No. I'm just saying this. With those two injuries, Chris Paul is more of a controlled point guard, right? So him pulling his hamstring, coming back, he can still be the point guard he was. Because it's not like he pulled his hamstring when he was in New Orleans or whatever, where he was just running around, stripping niggas. He was the fastest nigga up and down the court. We talking about late,
hitting dudes with nut punches and shit.
You feel me? Like, yo, the quick.
Oh, no, I can't vouch for that.
An older, more controlled Chris Paul. But we talking about Russell Westbrook fucking his knees up and coming back still being as explosive. Like, you can't ignore that, bro.
All credit and applaud that man for that, but he's still not one of the better guards in the NBA.
All right, so let me ask you this. If we take names away, right? Take names away. Multiple assist leading, you feel me, seasons. MVP.
What is it translating to, though?
Playoffs every year.
That's what it's translating to. First round exits. It's translating to a lot of first round exits. Watch this, Caleb. And I know where you're getting at, but I'm go ahead. I'm watching Russell Westbrook with Paul George and Carmelo Anthony. In the OKC Thunder. They're the 3rd seed in the Western Conference. And he let Ricky Rubio embarrass him to the point that he got frustrated that he got thrown out of a game in the playoffs because Ricky Rubio was in his ass.
That was the Joe Ingles and Ricky Rubio show because they thoroughly outplayed him and Paul George. That was where the whole playoff Pete. That was where the whole playoff Pete thing had came from.
Yes.
When he smoked Utah in game 1, and then Ricky Rubio and Joe Ingles put on a clinic the rest of the 2 years in a row at that too. 2 years in a row.
They lost to Dame the other year. Dame hit that fucking
no, my bad. Right.
Crazy ass shot, and Paul George said it was a bad shot.
But the point of what I'm getting at is, I've watched Russ struggle in the first round with talent, and I'm not going to keep going back to the KD thing, but it looked a lot easier when you got Kevin Durant sitting there on your left side, and you say, "Hey, yo, KD, you take that pressure off of me real quick." Even though I'm
for anybody. Jordan made it look easy with Pippen. LeBron made it look easy with Kyrie. Paul made it look easy with Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett. Like,
See,
yo,
my
that
thing
You're
with some of
discrediting
those,
others because you're trying to
some of
say that
those,
Westbrook helps everybody else win. That's not
some of those players will be those same players on their own. Like I'm one of them people, like with Kevin Durant, Steph, and all of them. Kevin Durant's gonna be Kevin
They can
Durant
go
regardless.
anywhere and be
And I
Kevin. That's a
believe that
fact.
about Kyrie. Like a lot of people love to link Kyrie and LeBron. I'm one of them people. Kyrie is going to be amazing. Same thing with Kobe and Shaq. Like Kobe is going to be Kobe, Shaq is going to be Shaq. Like Kyrie is going to be amazing regardless. In some of them instances, I think it is time to say that like Russ benefited more so from KD than KD benefited from Russ.
But where has Russ went between OKC, Houston, and the Wizards now?
You had the prime James Harden in Houston, and you couldn't get that to work.
I didn't think they could work because Russ, like you said, James Harden to me is more of a point guard than Russ. But Russ still needs to dominate the ball to do what he do as a
but that's a
player
testament.
that he is.
That's a testament to his game.
This is when me and Scooby go in agreement when we said Westbrook is a shooting guard.
Yeah, like that's a testament to his
game. They went to the finals,
right?
And Harden was coming off as the sixth man. Who was the guy that was the point guard while they moved Westbrook over to the two? It was Harden.
I just said in Houston, Harden was the point guard.
Right, but it allows him to play the game that fits Russ better.
This is where I knock Russ's game, so to speak, because it's like, what does he have to rely on in his game? Like you put him in a half court, what a part of his game can you say, all right, this is what he can do to control this game to get this team over the hump? Because that's what winning basketball comes down to. Mm-hmm. Like somebody like Giannis, who a lot of people say doesn't have a skill set, but like he's now in a thing where he's trying to figure that out.
Right.
Like where he doesn't necessarily have a go-to move, but then like if he plays to his strengths and he knows shit, if I get out the ball out my hands, he's learned that. And he's getting knocked for it. He's getting knocked for it. He's getting knocked for it, for getting the ball out of his hands and getting into somebody else's hands that can get us a winning play. Something that Russ still hasn't grasped. Because he has the ball in his hands.
In half court, bro. And once again, I'm gonna reiterate because I really feel like he's not the smartest point guard. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna just throw that out there again.
But that's to his detriment, though.
His hustle affects the defense in many ways. You feel me? He can shoot a mid-range, follow up, try to get the rebound. He can kick it out and give that extra hustle play where the defense can't take no breaks. A lot of players don't play as hard as Russell. You feel me? That don't show up on the stat line. Right. He's going to go hard every possession, if not 90% of the possessions of the game, and that tires the defense out, bro. When you have every missed shot a point guard jumping for a rebound, you feel me? Every time it's a loose ball, you got niggas swatting at the ball trying to get it. You feel what I'm saying?
Effort. That's what everybody loves. But
everybody don't have that dog in them to put that effort, bro.
That still don't make him all NBA for 2021.
It do, bro. Like, yo, he finished the year and pulled this team to the playoffs. Him and Bill. I'm not gonna say he did it by himself. Him and Bill. They was having games where they both had 30 points, and that man was having 30-point triple-doubles, bro. They came together and pulled that team to the playoffs, bro.
He had a second guy who actually made all NBA,
right,
pulling him for him. But yet and I'm only going off of what you said. But you said he doesn't deserve to be on all NBA because he couldn't make the playoffs with Draymond Green as his second guy. Because remember, Kelly Oubre went down.
Well, technically, that second
and what Wiggins do?
I was about to say
Wiggins.
I know second guy,
I know Ray hates him, but Andrew Wiggins is another one. Not to get off topic, who didn't have that bad of a year. He didn't have that bad of a year, but
some people are too high. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the expectation. You can't think this dude gonna be 25, 9, and 8 because he's playing at the small forward position, and you think he can do all of that on your team. No, it ain't gonna work. He's a 20-point guy. He can score 20 points a game. You just got to know what he give you. Play to his strengths.
I think Russ. I just honestly think now he's in that position in his career. Like once the athleticism fades, he doesn't have a jump shot to rely on. Like he's not the best decision maker. Like we all know that. He would greatly benefit again from a pure point guard. Like basketball is slowly transitioning away from positionless basketball. We just watched it hurt the Celtics. We just watched we watched it hurt so many teams. But that hierarchy matters. So to have to keep pushing somebody to be something that they aren't is to his own detriment. They at some point he needs to team up with someone, or they have to bring somebody in that can either pass on that knowledge to him or to help assist him in that. Because that's just always just going to be the gift and the curse of his game. That 100 miles an hour is great, but then sometimes you don't need 100 miles an hour. Sometimes you just need to coast. Sometimes you don't, sometimes you don't need this mid range. Sometimes you could have blew past this guy and got this layup. Or and that's why I'm at, like when I critique basketball, like the jokes and all of that be cool and all, but it just be like little subtle tweaks that like a lot of these guys be needing to their game. And like those little subtle tweaks, a lot of times make and break their career. You can throw like somebody like Ben Simmons, like Ben Simmons. Like a lot of people say that you need a jump shot, need a jump shot. He just needs to be a better free throw shooter. He doesn't necessarily have to just be all of a sudden Ray Allen or Reggie Miller or Steph. He just needs to consistently knock down free throws. Like after that, everything takes care of itself.
So once again, like you saying,
like with Russ,
instead of trying to make him somebody he's not, give that man a solid point guard,
and he would look amazing.
A solid point guard,
he would look amazing.
He, other than Jordan, he been a point guard man running the show. He had to run the show.
I'm just shocked that you knocked Steph Curry for his year. I'm totally shocked at that.
No, I'm with him.
I'm not knocking Steph.
I'm with him. Like because I just, man, that was
you don't think they all NBA as well?
Bro, I don't.
Not first team. Because I can't get with rewarding losing. I know that he had to be phenomenal, like and all of that, but then now you're moving the goalposts and changing criteria for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you do that,
bro. Yeah, right. And it does carry weight. And it's the same thing. And that's the thing. Like, I honestly, LeBron shouldn't have made it. Jimmy Butler shouldn't have made it. Those are two more names. And I wouldn't have been mad if they wouldn't have left off.
Why don't you think LeBron should have made it when the time he got injured? Think about the time that he got injured.
He was the MVP candidate.
The MVP candidate.
No, and I get that. I get that. And I get that. And I wouldn't have been mad at him being third team, but if you're going to swap them out and also to promote some of the younger talent that was having amazing seasons that was still on par with his. So I get it why, but then it's like at the same time, like I wouldn't have been mad like had it went either way. Like not to say that he didn't deserve it, but
I kind of felt like that with Tatum in the Westbrook case because Tatum actually struggled earlier in the year because he was dealing with COVID. So when he came back from COVID, I was like, wow. And to be honest with you, I thought Jaylen Brown should have been on All NBA this year on the third team over Jimmy Butler.
But that's the thing, though. That's too much time.
That injury hurt Jay.
Too much time missed. Yeah, too much time missed because he was on pace, and that would have made the argument even more messy because they on pace players that were on pace. But then at the same time too, Boston was struggling. He was healthy too. So that's
another thing, man. Jaylen Brown is a form of motherfucking Russell Westbrook. His shot selection and decision making is not the goddamn best, bro.
But that's what's holding him back. That's also what's holding him back right now. Because he's starting to knock down the three ball, but now he's getting three happy.
Yo, he be jacking.
But you know why you do that though? Because when you take away the point guard from your team and you transition to this Brad Stevens, who's the leader of positionless basketball, when you devalue positions in basketball, that's what you get. You get a bunch of 6'6", 6'7", 6'8", 6'9" niggas that all want to do the same thing. Nobody wants to play winning basketball.
He tried to have a position basketball, or you feel me? You got Kemba at the one.
That's not but that's the thing. Everybody knows Kemba's not a point guard. Everybody named mother knows. You get Kemba. That's a two. He's the two.
I'm not putting Kemba at the two. He don't.
But that's what he is though. He's no different from Kyrie. Like Kyrie is Brooklyn's shooting guard. James Harden is Brooklyn's point guard.
I agree with that. Kyrie scores way better
efficiently. Like he scores more
Officially than
officially than Kemba, but Kyrie, I mean, Kemba is in the makeup. Kemba is in the makeup of Kyrie. That's a hired gun. That's somebody who you put
So
the
let
ball
me
in their
ask you
hand.
this. What's that line where you say you score too much to be a point guard, you need to be a shooting guard? What's your line?
What you mean the line? Like, I mean, like
because I feel as though you got a point guard that can get you 25, 30.
That's not a point guard though.
Why isn't it?
A point guard is a table setter. Because that's the
what
table
I'm saying,
setter.
why can't it be though? If I can get you 25 through the Steve Nash.
Steve Nash. But that's the thing though.
And he can go out and get you 25, 30.
Nash is the table setter. Nash passes up wide open looks to get other looks for other people, to get other people going. And Chris Paul does the same things. That's
is
what
Jason Kidd a point guard?
Yes.
Yeah, hell
he
yeah.
Can go out get you 25, 30.
No, Jason Kidd will go and get you 14 to 16. Jason Kidd will go and get you 14 to 16. He's an under, if I'm not mistaken, without offhand looking it up, he's an under 20 a game for his career.
Yeah. He definitely averaged under 20. That's a fact. Yeah, so is Steve Nash too. That's a fact.
So I get the point like that you making, but like if I'm setting up my team and the reason why you see teams put up great numbers but still lose is because they devalue certain positions that still matter today.
I'll go here. Trae Young, prime example of what we talk about here. Is Trae Young a point guard? I say yes, but he's of a mindset of I gotta score first.
He's a very underrated facilitator. That's something that he doesn't get credit enough for. Like he showed that in high school, and he also did it in college. Like he had multiple 20, 30, 40-point games with double-digit assists. And that's almost unheard of in college basketball. Double-digit assists alone. Even if he not getting 20 a game. You're not getting guards in college basketball that's give you double-digit assists. And he averaged, I want to say, at Oklahoma, 8 or 9 assists a game.
He led the nation in assists as well as a freshman year.
Like that's one of the underrated aspects of his game. He's just now finding his way, like in the playoffs, of trying to understand how to facilitate for others. But he has that special it factor where he can also go off on his own. It's not a lot of guards you can say that about.
And that right there was what I'm getting at. Sometimes as a young player, you have to start feeling it out, reading it because the game starts down. So the other night he had the 8 turnovers. I said, "Damn, Trae played bad." But
Gallo was cooking that last game.
He was cooking. Started slowing it down, starting to see it. He's learning on the court. Whereas in Russ' case, Russ has been in here 10 years as a quote unquote point guard, still averaging 6 turnovers a game. And mind you, he has the ball. He's got probably the highest usage rate over the last 6 years in the NBA out of every.
I think Luka had him this year.
Yeah. But see, he's another one too.
That's another one.
He's good, but then he's another one that could benefit from somebody taking the ball out of his hands every now and then. Because sometimes it's to his detriment. And like even with it's the same thing, like once again, the LeBron effect that I keep going back to, it's the same thing. And Bron learned that early on in his career. That LeBron has had a lot of off guards that wasn't flashy, but it's just somebody that just gave Bron a breather where he didn't have to do all of the ball handling duties, but at the same time, Bron's still doing the heavy lifting. That's what Luka has to learn. Like it's just to put the ball in somebody else's hands, get a breather or two, and then go back and get to work.
That's what Lil Yo was supposed to be. Who was Lil Yo?
You talking about Brunson?
Yeah.
Is a quality point guard, but for whatever reason, Rick Carlisle toyed around. Some of these coaches be killing me with that, man. Like they be using these college rotations, or like they be taking these guys out just when they finally start to get a rhythm to appease, certain guys. Like you had my man, you had my guy Trey Burke on the bench, another quality point guard.
Yeah. But I don't know who Trey would have guarded in that Clippers.
And that's right. And that's the flip. That's the flip side of that. That's because even Luka, they were hunting him on defense.
Yeah,
even Luka can't stop a nosebleed. I mean, so I get it, but then it's like at the same time, as a coach, like at what point do you attempt to put these guys in them, in those positions?
All right, so let me ask you one more question. What's the criteria for your guard to be all NBA? Like, what are you looking for in an all NBA guard? What are you looking for?
Any of those 6 that made it?
Okay, I'll take that.
Like in all honesty, like I can go down breakdown by breakdown. Like I don't necessarily agree with Steph making it, but then I also get why. I don't, and that's not to keep picking on Steph. That's just, for argument's sake. But just basically what those 6 guards brought. And I was one of them people who was like, well, damn, what about, Donovan Mitchell? What about Devin Booker? But then it's like, well, who do you want to swap out? Because you can literally make the highest cases for all 6 guys.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's true.
For every argument you make against somebody, that same thing applies for somebody else's favorite.
Right.
But I think with Booker, like, they just been too disrespectful. They snubbing them on All-Stars. They snubbing them on All NBAs. Like, yo.
They making them earn it. They making them earn it. Like, yeah, that's the tough part. That's the tough part about the league, because they just, they gift wrap so many things to so many of these young guys that it's surprising. Like LaMelo and Zion, they gift wrapping the league to them right now.
LaMelo balling, though, for a rookie.
Oh, no, he is. Don't get me wrong. But he hasn't earned it. He also hasn't earned it. Like, he's great. Him and Zion, but they haven't earned it. They haven't been in the playoffs. Like, now you got Devin Booker, who's like, all right, he's been through the ring. He's been through the ringer. He's suffered on lottery teams, like, and all of that. And then now he's on the biggest stage. And it's still like, well, I mean, you okay.
Yeah.
It's just funny how
all praise on to Chris Paul.
It's still great though, because all it is just showing you how good and how talented this league is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. Absolutely. End of it, it's a good debate for us, because it allows us to just continue to talk about what we all see and what we want. Now, I know my expectations are, I kind of go with Scooby when he's saying that you just got to see the way that they bought it. That's why they made All NBA. But I'm pissed off that Donovan Mitchell didn't make it, because I honestly thought Donovan Mitchell should have been in the MVP running. And I get it. He got hurt at the wrong time. And people see what you do now, not what you've done for a season. And that hurt. Same thing happened with LeBron.
Same thing with Joel.
Same thing with Embiid, because I think Embiid was on the path to get MVP, even though I'm glad he gave it to Jokic, because Jokic deserved it. But if Embiid did not get hurt during that stretch, I honestly think Embiid would have won it. Even though Jokic had a very good year, they would have gave it to Embiid, because he was the more marketable guy. So you gotta go.
You gotta feel sorry for Embiid, bro. He had Ben Simmons, yo.
No, you don't gotta feel sorry for Embiid. You gotta say Ben Simmons need to get better. That's a whole nother topic for another discussion.
Yeah. You might as well write all this down, because we come back live.
Look, I've been sitting here like, man, I'm at my mode now with this show that I'm ready to do one every 2 days, because it's so much to go back and talk on, because like I really want to do, and I guess for the people that see it now, we already going to do on Fridays, we're going to be doing the BSN recap for revenge season. Everybody going to tune in on that off the rip. But
what time y'all starting tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, what, for the games or the show?
For the games.
The games are tonight, D.
Oh shit! Right. I keep forgetting today, Tuesday.
7:30 tonight, and then Thursday at 7. If you can get up there, bro, come through. It's gonna be
I'll probably bring my daughter up there today, man.
Tonight. Come on up, 1400.
Pop out.
Man, we're gonna have a good night tonight to start it off. Then we take a week off, because everybody is on vacation. The Salvation Army's on vacation. I'm on vacation.
Oh, y'all having bye week, Sean?
This early in the season.
Yeah, yo, got 5-week week 2, and then after that we roll all the way through for the rest of the summer. But yeah, but what I'm thinking, because everybody wants different sports topics we can talk about, we got so much we can debate. I think it'll be great for us to have this on a consistent basis. But I like this Westbrook topic, because I thought a lot of people were upset because of the stats. And I'm like, bro, it's not the stats. It's just the talent level. How can we say Kyrie don't deserve to be on the NBA when he had a remarkable year with 50, 40, 90? How can we say Luka don't deserve to be on there when he improved his team in the West? Same with Chris Paul. Same goes with Chef Curry. Chef Curry out there playing with Draymond Green. Enough said. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
Draymond was enough when they was winning championships. Now he's not enough.
Now I'm with you on that one. I'm with you.
Now he's not enough. But he was enough when they was winning. Now he's not enough.
That's always my go-to argument. It's cool and it's all fun and games when you winning, and then the minute you lose, and then when you lose, then these niggas
the only one that always said what is Draymond Green doing being an all-star? Did I not say that? He should not have been no all-star them years. I don't even think he should have been a defensive player of the year.
No, I don't think he deserved defensive player of the year.
But they gave it.
No, I'm
Why?
not mad at the DPOY. It's just that when they give him all the other accolades and all the other credit for all of that, like every team needs a Draymond Green, but every team needs a Jay Crowder too.
Thank you.
You want the picture?
I hate Jay.
Like, you feel me? I'm not the biggest Jay
Me
Crowder
too.
fan, but everybody needs a guy like that.
Yes, you do.
So listen, Draymond is. I put Draymond with the Wizards, yo, and let Westbrook run it too. Just because my man said Westbrook needs somebody to slow the game down.
I bet he needs that decision maker on the court to help him.
But Draymond only worked good with shooters around him.
Right.
Cause like, yo, he's not doing nothing with somebody who can't shoot.
The crazy thing about his game is I remember him in college. He was a lot better. He was a lot better in college. Like he actually looked to make basketball moves, go to the post, the whole nine.
You know why? He was trying to get that check.
Positionless goddamn basketball, man.
He was trying to get that check, bro. That's why people say college football better than the NFL. They hungry out there.
I laugh at that because Draymond was the national player of the year his senior year at Michigan State.
It amazes me. That national
he was trying to get that bag, bro.
Yeah.
You playing hard when you try to get that bag, but once you secure $100 million contracts and all that stuff,
so you don't think you trying to play hard this season?
I feel like it's a different level of playing hard, bro. When you in college, you trying to change your family situation. Once you start securing generational wealth, you lose some of that drive, yo. You starting to play more in a business mind instead of a success mind. You want chicken nuggets?
All right. All your stuff together?
That's a good little point, though.
No, it's not.
You feel me? Like,
I like that
when
point.
And we know, like he said before, what Draymond was coming out of Detroit, right?
Yeah.
Michigan State.
Single mother household really struggling. You trying to make sure Mom Duke's good. I'm trying to put Mom Duke's in the mansion. You feel me? So you're going to play for that bag. And when you get to the league, you're going to play for that contract extension. Fuck them first 4 years.
Oh, your grandmother.
But once you start doing that,
call down.
The NBA is a business after that, bro. That's why
call your grandmother
Kawhi Leonard
call your grandmother
like he came. He making business decisions, bro. Ain't nobody worried about it. We got 100 millions in the bank. We're not worried about nothing.
Well, let me ask y'all this question. Does Kawhi Leonard stay with the Clippers?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Where he goes, it used to be once upon a time you would be able to guess, but these days you never know.
You gotta talk to Kawhi's uncle first.
I'm gonna be honest. I think he might go. I honestly think he might go to Golden State.
I wouldn't be surprised if he stayed in California. Honestly, that would be the move that would shock everybody.
Yeah, but if you go to Golden State, that's gonna be dangerous, bro.
The way that the NBA go now, like that, honestly, because players like you have to factor in like the big market. I ain't gonna say necessarily don't mean anything, but location. Where niggas are playing it because they maximizing whatever area that they in. They learning to maximize that area. Like who would have thought that Miami? Who would have thought that Miami would have become a hot spot for basketball? Like that's one of the most fair weather towns in any sport.
Yeah, that's the baseball team.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give credit to Dwayne Wade, bro.
Yeah, between him and Pat Riley, they created that culture.
Yeah, you gotta give credit to Dwayne Wade.
To made it cool to want to be in Miami. Like who would have thought? Who would have thought it would have ever been cool to play for the Clippers?
It's still not cool to play for the Clippers though.
Like,
bro, listen,
the Clippers are like
Chris
the Cowboys.
Paul and Blake Griffin changed the Clippers franchise, bro.
No.
What?
Stern allowed that to happen because he not allowed to trade Chris Paul to the Lakers. Chris Paul did not trust that.
I understand that, bro. But when he went to the Clippers with Blake, DeAndre, Crawford, Redick, Barnes, they changed that culture, bro. They got old boy out of there, whatever. Donald Sterling or whatever his name was.
Culture is still the same culture that it is then, that it is now, just with an
It's
owner
not.
that's
It's not, bro.
their
Listen,
own
Clippers with
you know,
Lamar Odom
black,
and Corey Maggette was not making this much noise, bro. Like, yo, come on, bro.
Look, man, that's called coaching. Doc, now I say this, real talk. Doc Rivers, even though a lot of people don't like him, Doc Rivers did do the right thing by changing the narratives that were going off in LA with the Clippers, with the second team. Because to do something that I think any person that in their right mind should have did, if you're sharing a stadium with a team that's legendary like the Lakers, you don't got to show their banners while you at your home games. Get the goddamn screens up there and remove them and change them and go from there. Scooby, you got your joint on mute, so I don't know if you was talking to anybody or not, but you was on mute.
When your own banners.
Yeah, you gotta win your own banners, bro.
Win your own banners.
Yeah, you got
that shit,
now.
bro.
That's like
what we mean by culture.
That's like you trying to entertain a young lady at my house and you want to cover up everything. No, this is my house.
Yo, can you take your pictures down, yo?
Yeah.
This is culture change.
Trying to entertain a chick in my house, talking about like, yo, she might think you too cute. She might think you too cute. Take your pictures.
Right. This is when the culture change.
Put your own pictures.
Right. This is when culture change. When a new owner comes in and say, you know what, we're not staying here. We can get our own building. So yes, that does change the culture, but that took them to get an owner that got caught doing something racist to finally get them out the door so they can make those moves. So Doc Rivers started the culture change.
He won out. Donald Sterling won. The fuck? How you made him get rid of the team, but his wife sold the team. He never divorced his wife. That nigga don't care about that shit.
Yeah. Well, that's called power.
Chicken nuggets.
That's called power.
Yo, he made out like shit, bro. Y'all thought I gave the team up. My wife sold it and we land in the same bed.
Like,
yo.
Yeah.
Like, yo, what kind of fake politicking is that? We gotta get chicken nuggets first, mama. Yeah, then we go in the daddy house.
That's called the system.
Yo, the system worked for him. What he sold the team for a couple, like $2 billion or some shit like that.
Yeah. Smart man. Smart man. Bro. So if I could get away with it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, man, I'll call somebody nigga right now if I can get $2 billion. Yo, real shit. But you gotta credit Chris Paul and Blake Griffin, because Lob City had LA going crazy.
I got a great topic for the next show. NBA's all overrated. Because Blake Griffin is on that list for me. I can't stand
him. He's overrated.
Hold on, that was your guy, though. That was your guy.
That was never my guy. I used to always talk about how overrated he was.
The rebirth of Sean Kemp.
No, I said that he was a poor man Sean Kemp. He was a poor man Sean Kemp. When I was a kid, me not knowing any better, I had Sean Kemp higher than Jordan on my all-time favorite playlist as a kid. My pops was my first coach, and my pops, like, his game was like Sean Kemp game back in the day. It was all muscle and dunks. So, like, Sean Kemp, that was my favorite player as a kid growing up. I mean, everybody knew Mike was Mike, but to me, like, I had sentimental reason.
That's Pops right there.
Yeah, in my mind.
Now, my favorite player growing up was Chris Webber, though.
Oh, so an overrated bum.
Oh, Chris Webber?
He's overrated.
You're crazy.
Yeah. I'm not even going front. I used to be one of them people that used to argue Sheed over Weber. I used to be one of them people.
That's crazy.
I can't even front because I'm a Tar Heel guy.
Overrated joint gonna be a real good one. I'm glad you did that. I think we
we tune him in. Chris Webber is overrated.
I got some names. I ain't gonna throw them out there now, but I got
do the homework. I'm about to put that out there.
Listen, No, we about to do a quick little trailer, yo. Quick little preview. I'm gonna just throw a little shit out there because I looked it up. I already had this argument before. Bro, he was battling one of the toughest West at the time. Spurs, Timberwolves was tough. Lakers was tough.
He was tough in the era of the bigs, without a doubt.
Yeah, and he was going against goddamn Kevin Garnett,
when
Tim
he came out,
Duncan,
93,
David
94?
Robinson.
93.
Because KG was 9'4", right?
No, KG was 95.
I thought KG was 9'4". Okay.
Webber came out in 93. And then KG came out in 95 because Kobe came out in 96.
And Duncan came out in 97.
Yeah, Duncan came out in 97.
And look who Chris Webber had to go through just to try to sniff a finals, nigga.
Shit, he still had Prime Barkley.
Yeah, because they went up against
Prime Barkley.
Yep, and he dunked on Barkley.
When he was on Golden State.
He was like 20-something and 11 for his career.
Yeah.
I don't think is it that high? Is it that high?
I used to be like, cool. I said, yo, if Rasheed Wallace could get the same amount of shine or spot that Chris Webber was, she was gonna be that guy.
She was my guy. Like that was one of them personal bias. That's not to say that Chris Webber was a bum. She was just my guy.
You imagine that Washington had Juwan Howard, Rasheed Wallace, and Chris Webber all at the same time?
And Chris Webber got them niggas traded.
Got all of them niggas.
And then he left.
Yeah, it's a business. It's a business, bro. But skill-wise, talent-wise, yo, Chris Webber was my guy, bro. That Kings team, I wanted them to win so bad. But they could not get over the hump, bro.
29 for his career. Ain't that some shit?
I would have never said again for me, bro. Read that stat again for me, bro.
29 for his career. I honestly would have thought it would have been like around the 17, 18 point mark.
Yo, Chris
Because I remember them last few seasons in Detroit when his knees was bad. Them last few seasons in Philly. Yeah, like those are the years I remember. Like when shit was like downhill.
But then about the All NBA team is always what you do last that they remember the most. Because if we
Iverson, Gilbert Arenas.
If we was talking all at the midpoint of the season, I don't think of us would have had Westbrook on that list. We would have been saying Devin Booker. You get what I'm saying? And it's the same thing like you just said with Chris Webber and Allen Iverson and some other stars. Yo, at the end, he was some shit. He got traded to Denver, then he got traded to Detroit, and he came back and got crossed up when he was in Philly. Iverson was we forget that Allen Iverson
eating cake.
For the first time.
I told Kennedy to call him last year.
Because they had Iverson in Memphis. That nigga was doing a world tour for real. But yeah, this NBA top overrated. Because you just disrespect my man Chris Webber, bro. So we don't have to talk about all that.
All I know is Chris Paul got the best meme of all time now and shit. That's all I can give.
Oh, was it a push-off or was it a clean snatch on him?
No, but it don't matter. They didn't call it, so it was.
Hey, yo, just make sure y'all have them referees at the game
if you don't get the foul call, it's a clean snatch.
Yo, just bring them referees to the game tonight, yo.
Oh, they gonna be there. They already there.
I need a couple push-off crossovers, yo.
Listen, man. Tonight should be fun. We got the two young teams going at it first. Somebody's old got to go. So we're gonna see what they pick up a win. That's what they needed that. And then we're gonna get a real solid matchup between the grumpy old men and the Goonies. Daryl, I don't know if you remember the Goonies, but with Mo and all them, but
yeah, I remember.
They're gonna be loaded and they coming back reloaded, and so are the grumpy old men. That could be a steal game of the week. Thursday, we got so much potential going on Thursday's games. Oh my God, Thursday's gonna be crazy. And I'm ready for BSN 4 revenge season.
Hey man, I got Fresh getting MVP this year, man.
Look, he calling it already.
Yo, listen.
Fred, that's my guy. Fresh, that's my guy.
Fresh was going crazy this summer, yo.
Fresh too humble.
Like,
if Fresh if he ever decides at any point to flip that switch, he could easily average 40 in any league, not just this one, in any league. This leadership, Brunson League, like if he wants to flip, Fresh too nice. He too humble.
I feel like he about to flip that switch this year, bro. I feel like
It's
he about to flip it.
It's like you got to make him mad or piss him off on purpose or something to get show going. Like he too nice.
The humble assassin, yo.
Yeah. He a quiet killer.
For real, bro.
All that. Look.
For real, bro.
I like all that. And you know, I personally like all that because that just gives me more credibility for the BSN. That's what I'm talking about. Let's just keep it rolling. But look, I'm going to let y'all get off of here. If we can keep this rolling, if we can keep this going, we can do this again Thursday. Anytime, let me know. The same passcode always works for BSN Zoom right here. That's what it is. So whenever y'all want to
all right,
fellas,
we can go from there.